Good man.
I'm cold.
It's freezing.
It's too much. Too much.
Who are you waiting on?
I was waiting for Thingy, but he legged it, so... Boy, sorry. So, I mean, I was going to say, wait. I was going to say, wait. I'm not really. You mind
Niggas love Sosa, she's a Fiji roaster. Hey.
Hey! Alright, let's get away from the silliness, let's get to the serious stuff.
Content over everything!
Got a serious topic. So, yeah, obviously last week we got derailed. We was going on the conversation about mental health. And we won't go into what happened, because obviously it's obvious to everybody. But one of the things was that I think a lot of mental health was playing out on that whole situation as well. Even though people are denying that it was related to that. And one of the things is about me and you. One of the things I want to say is that a lot of people I've read comments saying, oh, we use it as an excuse. Oh, we're behaving this way, we use it as an excuse. What I'm going to say is that we've got through it. What we're saying is that we've got through it and we're not using it as an excuse. We're trying to say, look, we still, like an alcoholic, you will always be an alcoholic. You have to be careful. I'm always going to have depression and mental health issues, but I'm not depressed. I'm in a good space. And so we're not using it as an excuse. This is what I'm like in a good mood when I'm not depressed. So, you know, if you think I'm using it as an excuse, that's right. And I heard the same thing about you, that, you know, you'll use it as an excuse to kind of do certain things. But when we had a conversation, you said that you're in a good place yourself as well at this precise moment. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I'm in a much better place now than I was over a year ago.
Yeah.
So a year ago I was in a dark place.
Come in, Raven. We're getting Raven in as well. Let's get Zoubida in as well, as a female voice as well. Because one of the things is that the whole point of us talking about this was that it enabled people to listen to us and talking so openly, and then other people come up to me, even certain individuals I've never spoken to. I'm not going to point to anyone, but he knows who I'm talking to. I've never spoken to him, and he come over to me and goes, oh, bro, I saw your thing the other week, and you know, I really appreciate it, and we had a good talk about it. And so this is the whole point of it, that if we're so open about our own issues, it will allow other men or females as well to start kind of coming in and say, all right, we had this particular issue, and it's nothing to be ashamed of, you know. What about yourself, Raven, and you, about mental health and stuff? I mean,
well, I do a lot of work where I visit like people in the community, whatever, who's going through certain issues, and try to hear them out. And obviously the idea is to try to, like, I don't know, and some of them probably come to speak scholar for me. But for me, it really is about listening, right? And that's why I say that your stories of how, because you said you don't truly overcome, but you more adapt, is that right?
Yeah, so I'm quite selfish in the way I live my life.
Right.
Like when I saw you in the train, I said I'm going to go on a different carriage.
Yeah. And
a lot of people find that weird, but I don't like sitting with people on the train, so I'm not going to do it.
But I think it's the understanding of that. So if you told me this is how you operate, then this is how we should operate.
Yeah, so a lot of people think I'm kind of rude in the way I do things. And I'm like, all right, if it causes me, if it annoys me, why should I sit with you on a train? I mean, it's not a big issue. So I'll say it politely, I'm going to sit on the train in that carriage. You sit there, but we can talk as we wait for the train.
But have you identified why? So if would you say that's connected to like you trying to stay away from depression? Would you say that you are more prone to be in a depressed state by being around people in
No, what it is I've realised that with depression, it's a bit like being an alcoholic. Like, I had an alcohol problem. I know to stay away from certain people. Right. So there's a lot of people I used to be friends with, I deaded off when I wanted to stop drinking. I haven't drank since. Certain areas, certain places don't go to, because you know it might trigger you to want to have a drink. Same with depression. I know certain things are going to trigger me. And it may be a tiny little thing, but if you add everything up, then it adds up. So this small little thing is tiny to you, but I might have 10 other things I have to deal with that I can't compromise on. So take the easy stuff out. Like, I like to eat by myself at home. So I eat by myself. That's not a big deal. I just I prefer to eat by myself. And even my job, I'm working as an artist, and that's quite selfish in a way, because, you know, it's not the best paying job. But I know for my mental health, that's going to be the most productive way for me to live, because I don't work well with people, as you might kind of a guest. So, you know, if I'm working in a company, I know it's going to cause problems. It happened twice when I worked in my 2 other places.
So what do you think is stopping people from coming to the corner speaking about this topic? What is it?
Well, obviously with when Oz told people that he was suicidal, and when I told people started mocking him, oh, you're a pussy, oh, you're this, you tried to kill yourself. And I still hear people saying that to him, yeah? And, you know, every time they're attacking him now, they use the fact that he was suicidal to attack him.
But is that people, or is that the online trolling community?
Whether it's online troll or whether it's just people in general, it'll still have an effect on the man.
I agree with that.
So I'll give you an example. So for me, yeah, I'm like a machine. I'm not being thingy. You can't get through to me. It doesn't matter how many attacks you do. You're not going to be able to do it, yeah? But if you was to say the same thing when I was in my depressed state, it could have tipped me over the edge.
No, and I agree with that. But what I would say is, the what I'm trying to define is, when you have like an invisible person online, we can't actually engage with them on an actual conversation. But if someone's come to the park and they're telling you to kill yourself, telling you to kill yourself and so forth, we can actually have a conversation to think what is happening in their mind, where you've told them that you're very vulnerable, and their answer is, go over there.
I mean, Omar, I don't want to bring him too much because he might suddenly pop up like the Candy Man.
Well, he's welcome to come.
So we might say Omar,
like the
Omar, Candy Man chops up like little Omar, a rap boy, kind of squeaking. So the thing is, yeah, with him, I know for a fact, just looking at him, he has. When we say mental health issue, doesn't mean you're mad. Mental health includes loads of different stuff. Yeah, and so depression is mental health, anxiety is mental health. You know, feeling depressed about a lot of things. You know, just generally, most people suffer from mental health issues at some point. So the thing is, for men, it's different for females because the Zoubida say we'll get that situation in as well. With men, is that when you disclose this, there are men about that will use it to attack you. Yeah, and most men who have, like, you know, a lot of people think they're alpha males. I'm a beta male, I'm proud of it. So it doesn't affect me. So if you say, oh, you're this and you're that, oh, you want to try, yeah, cool, I'm through it now. So, but if you're an alpha male and you want to show like, oh, you nothing affects you, then these kind of digs, you're just going to let it affect you because you're trying to hold it in, and some man's going, oh, you tried to kill yourself, you did suicide, all that. It will affect you.
But it's the type of person who's doing this. You've met the gentleman who's done this, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's important to get people like him to speak, because obviously you said yourself, he's going through something. Yeah. I guess once you're going through a certain kind of pain, you don't necessarily care about other people's pain.
Yeah, you become very selfish. The biggest problem with depression is that a lot of people start finding people that are very suicidal or depressed. They start to think that they're nasty, selfish people. I will in a minute, man. Nasty, selfish people. But I remember, like, when I was depressed, I didn't care about other people's feelings. Yeah. Somalian brother just couldn't handle the heat, man. Oh, the cold. So basically, like with myself, like, I forgot what he made me lose my train of thought.
Bad guy. Well,
let's get a female, because I do want to say there's a lady that come earlier, Rashma Akhtar, big up to her, and I thought she was an online troll. I thought it was a 50-year-old man pretending to be a woman, because he kept asking for Sophia Lewis, and I was like, this seems a bit weird. But she come to the park today, and she spoke about depression as well, and she's going to we'll try and get onto our show, your show, I mean, but I'll join, we're going to try and do a joint depression show that we can get guests on, and so she came today. So Zoubida, have you got anything to take from a female perspective? Because I think it's different.
Yeah, I feel like with girls, it's got to do a lot with confidence issues. A lot of girls have, they're quite shy and they don't like being in big crowds, and things like body shaming can cause a lot of depression, because if somebody's constantly calling you names about the way you look, and girls always have pride in the way they look, they always want to look a certain way, and the fact that they've tried it, someone's just going to knock you down for that, that's a big insecurity for females. So then that makes them shy away, and that also makes them isolate themselves because they're so scared of being judged. And the thing is, with females, we're always being judged by the way we look, by the way we act. In society, we have this idea of how females should look, and in reality, females don't look that type of way. We have different women from different shapes and sizes, shapes and sizes, from different colours, from different races, from different religions, and we have this specific image that everyone's trying to go for, and some girls just don't want to live up to that. So if you don't look like that, you end up getting bashed for it, you end up being called fat, you end up being called ugly, when you're not necessarily fat or ugly. So I feel like it's a confidence thing as females. I think we need a lot more inspirational women to build up a lot of these girls' confidence, because I look up to people like Lauryn Hill. She might not be looking like Kim Kardashian, but she's very intelligent, she's very wise, she's very confident, she's got a lot of confidence. A lot of people look up to people like Kim Kardashian, which is your choice, but Kim Kardashian is not a realistic woman, she's not your everyday average woman, So I feel like, I'm going to refer back to online, because there is a lot of bullying going on online, just calling people ugly and calling people fat, and that personally don't affect me, because if you were to tell me that I'm wrong or I'm fake, then that would affect me, because that I'm doing something wrong. I can't help the way I look, and I'm not going to change the way I look to please people. But my personality, that's what I can change, because that's ultimately what's going to get through to people. That's what's going to make people like me or dislike me. I don't dislike people for the way that they look. That's them. But I will dislike you for the way you talk, the way you act. That's what's going to make me make my opinion on you. So we have a lot of people with this closed mindset. They're just going to judge you based on the way that you look without taking into account your personality, without taking into account your mentality. So, you know, to all my ladies out there that have a little bit of insecurity, might be a bit big, might be a bit skinny, don't worry about all that, because you are beautiful inside and out. Yeah, nobody can judge you, nobody can put you down. Be confident in yourself. If you've got something to say, like I said, say it. Be confident in yourself. Stop following society, stop watching Instagram, because that's not real life. You know, this is real life at the end of the day. So yeah, you know, that's my thing.
Yeah, I do want to say one thing. Me and Sid Bash, big up Sid Bash. Me and him were enemies online. I didn't know who he was. I just had a name called Sid Bash, and for like a year, he was. I'm going to have to say it. Right? He was threatening me. I'm going to go down to the park. I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to do that to you. Yeah. So what's happened was that all of a sudden he decided that, all right, this ain't the best way to go. I've decided as well that I'm a bit too antagonistic, and we come to like a middle ground. Yeah. And now we're cool with each other. And so when I then put the face to the name, he's totally different from the person I thought he was going to be. So a lot of these people that are commenting, you know, when you read the stuff, you probably think there's some nasty individual behind it. Most of them are just like normal people that do 9 to 5 jobs and they haven't got nothing better to do in that particular time. And so they're writing stuff. So
the other thing was I started getting a lot of hate because I stopped trolling Raj, and I was trolling him a lot, like to the stage where he was mentioning.
We're going to do a show where we reveal all the messages he's done. We'll go through them and ask him what he meant by this and that.
But one of the reasons why I stopped it is I started to realise, because he was saying a lot of controversial stuff and stuff I didn't really like. So what I decided was, rather than going the hate approach, let's try and communicate instead and try to get him on board. And we then started talking. And then look, I mean, you have to admit, Raj is, I don't agree with every single view he has, but he's completely changed compared to when he first started off. So, and that was all from communicating. He started to get to know who I was, who Bigards was. We started communicating, and now we have common ground where we can work with each other and understanding each other and why and so forth. I got a lot of hate for why we were allowing Raj on a panel, why we were communicating with him. We were getting a lot of hate for it. And so my answer to that was, look, rather than going down the lane of, not allowing them to come on the panel and just giving him hate and everything, right? That's clearly not working. We tried that. I did it for about a year. It didn't work, right?
I love it.
So now what we're doing is we're bringing him on. We're understanding his views and opinions, and he's understanding our views and opinions. And that way we're communicating, and he understands us better, we understand him better. Yeah. So, that's clearly working more effectively than what the other method was. So we've literally gone down that road. So
can I just add to that point, sorry, because obviously Sid Bash's panel is majority like Muslims, and because of Raj's comments about certain things like jizya and his opinions, which he's entitled to have, we've been told not to speak to him. But I don't feel like that's the way to work with people. Like this speaker's corner, right? You're gonna hear all sorts of opinions. You're gonna hear things that you don't like, but there's ways of dealing with it. So, like Sid Bash said, we've tried to swear at him, and it doesn't work. But it's more better for us to come to some sort of common grounds, because if you look at him as just a human, take your religion aside, we actually have a lot of things in common, and we have a lot of things that we both share, we both been through, because at the end of the day, it's all about humanity. Regardless of what religion you come from, or what country you come from, what culture you come from, these people are human. And this is also promoted within our religion. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ never disrespected anybody based on their colour, based on their race, based on their religion. He was fair to everybody, and that's the way we should be. Even though Raj said things that are so offensive things,
I don't say nothing about God, Muhammad, or the Quran. Find me anything. It's about certain things I don't like. But
and I mean, with the jizya, he's entitled to have that opinion. As long as you're respectful, and as long as you don't take the piss, then it's all good. I can speak to you, because I said to people, they're saying to me, why are you speaking to Raj for? He dissed Islam, so what do you expect me to do? Do you expect me to swear at him? Do you expect me to say something rude to him? Do you expect me to what do you want me to do? You know what I'm saying to you? So I don't care what religion you're from, what culture you're from. If you're nice with me, I'm nice with you. And on a day-to-day basis, I'm around so many different people. I'm around Christians, I'm around black people, I'm around Asian people from different faiths, and we get along fine. But when you come to the speaker's corner, that's when it starts to become very, he's Christian, he's religion, he's Muslim, he's this. So then that's where all the arguments start, because of their opinions. But on a day-to-day life, you're around so many different people, you get along with them. You go to the shop, your shopkeeper's Sikh. You go to the chicken shop, the guy's Hindu, and you speak to him with respect.
You know, I
regardless
liked
if
her
he's Hindu
because
or
she
not.
said Sikhs are some of the best people, and I agree.
They're good people. You get good
Maybe
and
not
bad in
me, though.
everybody.
Maybe not
You
me.
get good
I
and bad in
might be
everybody.
wrong.
You know what I'm saying to you? You give what you take. You know, if you're nice with me, I'm nice with you. If you're rude with me, I could either walk away, I could be rude back. You know what I'm saying to you? So it's all about respect at the end of the day, because we're not going to move on if we just base people on their religion. Oh, he's Muslim, I can't talk to him. Or he's Christian, I can't talk to him. Regardless if he's a nice person, if he's not a nice person. I'll tell you now, I've had people, Christians, help me more than Muslims. I've had Sikhs be more respectful to me than Muslims. So I'm not going to judge you based on your religion. I'm going to judge you based on your mentality and the way that you treat people, regardless of where you're from.
And the thing is that all of us suffer from mental health at some point. Doesn't matter what religion you are, and people use particular things to get them through it. Some people might use religion; that might be their kind of their crutch that they're going to use to get through it. Other people are going to use alcohol. People will use this and use that. So once you kind of like scratch the surface of these online trolls and stuff, who do cause people mental health issues. This is why we're talking about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the trolls, what they don't realise is that, you know, and it is sort of like we're kind of online personas. And then they see us and they think, all right, we're going to say that. For me, it doesn't affect me, if I'm being honest with you. But it could affect other people. And I do say this, that, you know, when I've read comments about Oz, oh, kill yourself, you should have done this, you should have done that. One day, one of your kids, maybe your brother or sister, or somebody in your family, might be in the same position where they're feeling that, and when they Google into thingy and they see a YouTube video and they see all these nasty comments saying you should have killed yourself, you may be the person that might tip that person over the edge. Instead of reading positive comments, they're reading people, oh, kill yourself, do this, do that. And so this is the big problem. Like with females, obviously, you know, females suffer from depression and they do have a higher rate of trying to kill themselves. But when it comes to actually doing it, men are on another level. When they do it, there's a high chance that they're going to be successful unless someone intervenes. And that's basically because I think women can talk about their issues more with other
That's
females.
why they say, oh, women are so emotional, but at least we're talking about it, at least we're not holding that emotion in. Because what you find, is a lot of people build up that emotion and they end up exploding, right? So you might have somebody that's been going through a lot, and not saying something, and one little thing might trigger that person. There's people that have killed themselves for things like breaking up with their partner. So imagine what other people are going through when they're being told to kill themselves and being abused, and they're still holding it down. Some people kill themselves for the most minor things. And there's people like us who's holding it down, who's being strong, but we're all human. There's only so much that we can take, and people are not helping. People are making it even more worse, and it actually is quite sad to see that people have this type of mentality in this world. It's actually, it can make anybody depressed. Even just reading the comments, you're like, what's wrong with this guy? Like, why so evil? Why so heartless? For no reason. I ain't done nothing wrong to you. You know, you might not like what I say, but there's things about talking about it. But you don't have to get personal. You don't have to get rude. You don't have to get disrespectful. It's just manners, isn't it?
So would you say that a solution to this, right, is if you identify that there's a person you're going back and forth with, and you're saying it's online or then you actually invite them to a conversation about a topic, see if you can actually find some common ground or a solution to the actual idea you're discussing?
Well, one thing I've realised is that if you talk about a topic that you both sort of agree on, and it's not too controversial, so like with me and Big Ards, we both started off, if you look at our first time we met, he chased me around the park and I had to get him removed by the police. But now we're cool. Like, I'm more cool within the most of the park. And so the way that happened is obviously because we started talking about what unified us. And one thing that unified us was the fact that he's a proud Punjabi. And I'm a proud Punjabi. It just happens we're in separate sides of the thing. It used to be one place before. And that's the same with depression. I didn't really know us. In fact, me and you had a lot of confrontations online. When I heard you, I thought you was the guy that, you know, I was going to have massive problems with. And so remember, we've had a to and fro. So all of these two individuals here, I've had issues with both of them online. Right. Yeah. But now, because we both have something in common, me and him have shared stories that I've never, like if you go to chapter 9's video, I told something that I've never said online before, and I've only said in counselling. And I'm not going to repeat it because I think you need to watch the video because it was so personal. But the only reason I did that was because Oz had said something so personal about him. And so I'm hoping that people can jump onto the pod. If you want to join, can we do a regular weekly
I want
show?
to do it once a week, inshallah.
Yeah, so what we want to try and do is a weekly show online, and then we can have myself, Oz, if you want to jump on there, or like permanent people on there, maybe Sid, and then we can get a guest on who wants to tell their story anonymously, or they can do it publicly if they don't mind. We can give them solutions.
Well, I think what might be a good idea is if you have this as a concept here in the park, then now people can approach with this kind of topic, right?
No, we'll do both. We're going to do both. We're going to do a regular slot here, and so if people are comfortable to come to the park and give their
Because there's people
stories.
who don't leave their homes. Like, I've got a friend online. He's been on the Hangouts for over a year, and he's the type of person who doesn't like to leave his house. Like, he literally
I don't leave the
shopping
house.
online.
So can I say something?
Yeah.
I very rarely leave the house. The time I leave the house, they're right. When people say, Raj just gets up and goes speaker's corner, you're damn right. That's when I get out the house. I might just go shopping to get my basic food, but I'm happy like that. For me, it's not sad. I prefer my own company, so leave me alone. Yeah, you may think it's sad, but it's not to me. I love drawing. So when I'm sitting there and I'm depressed and I can draw, I'm lucky in that sense because when you draw, you've got a hobby that you can make as a living. It alleviates a lot of pressure and stress. So I know when I get depressed, I've got trigger moments. And I have to admit, just a couple of weeks ago, I fell into a depression. It was nothing to do with Speaker's Corner, it's something to do with personal stuff. And what I did, I just put my mind into my artwork. And after a couple of days, the depression.
Do you feel like your artwork is like therapeutic for you? It's your way of coping?
Yeah. Because I didn't draw for 13 years. And the year 13 years I didn't draw, I call a dark period. I was in anthology at that time. I was so depressed all the way through. And so when I'm drawing, or someone's a musician, you're a musician, so I found that recently. I saw some of his videos. I big up to Raven. And so you're a musician, so you understand when you're doing your music, even if the world's burning around you, you're really concentrating, you love what you're doing, you're creating something. You can kind of like overcome a lot of things.
That's the thing, like I play guitar as well, and when I'm just like pissed off or angry, I just bang out my guitar for like half an hour.
Get tired, we can do a David Brent moment. We all sit down and
Well, I think you can facilitate like a week to week or a month to month, whatever discussion where people can come down, and obviously then on the online platform you can invite people who don't know. But I think making that your purpose will actually keep you on the ball, because when you start straying, then that's when all this other stuff. But also, if you are constantly going back and forth with other people, invite them to a conversation. I don't really follow online stuff too tough for that. But from what you're saying, it seems to be dedicated people who go back and forth with each other, right? Yeah. The noise is going to come out. It's a good microphone, sorry. It's a good microphone.
You know what, I feel like also
You might want to come over here because the noise is a bit loud.
I feel like
Oh, your hands are hurting? Alright, I
feel like entertaining trolls gives people an opportunity to continue to talking to you, so you're opening up a conversation. If you just ignore it, then you're not really opening up a conversation. Because if you say something back, they're going to say something back. So you're giving them an opportunity to swear at you. So sometimes I'm not guilty. I'm guilty of this as well. I put myself in a situation where I allow people to abuse me, people that couldn't even speak to me in real life, and I'm giving them that chance to say what they want to say to me. So if you're responding back to somebody, that's it. She wants to talk in it. She's allowing me to abuse her. So then he's going to go back and forth, and I'm going to go back and forth, and I can't do nothing about it because he's behind the screen. So I say to people, just ignore it. And I know some of the comments are like really pee-taking, and you want to say something back, but just ignore it. Dead that. We all need to, like, if you've got to count to 10, if you just got to turn your phone off, like that's how I feel like doing. I feel like turning my phone off, going to the countryside or something, and just breathing in some nice air and meditating, man, because this stuff is toxic. It's toxic, man. It's toxic.
We're in a weird time where, because I'm old enough to know the time when there was no internet, and when I was growing up, when there was a problem, it would just stick to a small group, and after a while that problem would either dissipate or you can move away from it. Now you have an online community where it will just go on forever. And it's hard for people to disconnect now. It's almost like it's like a life support machine, and they can't think of a world without it.
I think one of the issues is a lot of people will have like these online personas, and people judge them by the persona, so they don't think about the family, the upbringing, the struggles, the hardships. They see this guy's on the TV shouting loud, I don't like his face, I'm going to comment. But what you've identified when you guys spoke is you found the humanity in trouble, right? And there was a common ground, and you said that. So I think, like I keep going back, the main solution is to invite people to speak about a topic. You try that, then the same solution you got with you with big odds and so forth.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think the depression topic is something that is probably, or the mental health issues is probably the topic that's the most unifying, because it affects everybody no matter what race, religion, or whatever you are. So if we can stick to that, and people can start listening to. I've had lots of comments though as well about you and myself. They thank you for disclosing.
Big up Raj and Osman. That's
It's
very
helped
brave.
us so much. So
Very brave.
or even if we help one person, that's all that matters, man. It doesn't really matter. Like we could do what we'll do is like if we can do this like every other week or maybe once a week, and then but we will do our panel. Like if you can pick a particular day, and then we'll do that once a week, and we can get people on. So if you want to jump on and tell your story and how you cope, or we can give them tips on how to cope with kind of getting out of a depressive state. So
I won't say is get organised, right? Among yourselves, pick and name that best describes this situation you're saying, and then invite people to this particular thing, and then have like set agendas that will come down. Because what you're going to find is hundreds of people out there who really are resonating with what you're doing, but they're invisible at the moment, right? So by getting structure, they're going to be able to come down, and not everyone's going to want to talk, but they might just want to listen, and then when the cameras are off, ask the person.
I mean, we can also do a private hangout if once the show's over and if somebody wants to jump on and they're very, very seriously, in a serious situation, we can give them advice privately as well. So I'm willing to do that option as well. So I'm not sure if there's anything else that you guys want to chat about, or should we kind of move on to?
I was just going to say, I feel like when you hear people's stories, like, some people might do this tough guy thing, but when they actually start opening them up, it makes you understand them more as a person. So like with Oz now, just hearing his whole situation makes me a bit more sensitive to his situation, because I don't know how everyone else operates, but when I hear what people have gone through and their struggles, it makes me a bit more softer on them. It makes me take my time with them, because I understand now what you're going through. Some people, there's a lot of broken hearts behind smiley faces, right? You got a lot of people that seem to be happy and they're broken inside. You know what I'm saying to you? So if you've got a friend that seem a little bit off, just say, bro, you okay? Sister, you okay? You can talk to me, because sometimes when we're with our friends, it's only jokes and banter. You don't want to kill the mood by talking about your depression. You know what I'm saying to you? But that's what friends are for. Friends are not just for 5 minutes of fun or wasting time. They're there to confide in. They're there for a support system. And I found that some of my friends I couldn't do that with. I couldn't talk to them about my things.
They're frenemies. A lot of people have frenemies. 90% of the people you will classify as friends will be frenemies. They're not really true friends in the essence. Well, you really know when the shit hits the fan and you got a problem and whether that person will listen to you. Most people are not truly your friends, and that's just my own personal opinion. I know it sounds quite pessimistic, but that's what I've realised throughout my lifetime, that there's a lot of people that want the worst for you. And don't really give a shit about whether you are.
If you want to see who your real friends are, have a kid, go to jail, or be broke. That's when you're going to see who your real brethren are. I'll tell you that now.
Alright, so I don't know if there's anything more you want to chat about, or do we just end it?
No, I think it's covered everything really.
I've got to stop ending the stream with like some weird jokes, so let's go on a serious note, man. So big up to us and everyone, man. Big up to everyone, big up to everyone. Let's do a little fist bump. Woman last though. Alright, man, so I don't know. Odds! Did you want to chat about now? Alright, we'll wait for odds. So.
He's saying done. This is too cold for him.
It's freezing, man.
Oh, we do need
Zoubida.
You should lift up your chances as well, because people piss around you as well.
I'll come back. Are you going to be 5 minutes? I'll come back in 5 minutes. I need to do something. I'll be back. If you can get Mo here,
Roger, talk about Modine.
No.
Is Modine here today?
He waits outside the park, man. On your day, he waits outside.
And rap boy and all
Banned
that.
for 6 months.
Bad.
Oh my God.
Yo, Raj, we game. Come back here, cuz. Come back here, cuz. Cool, say that.
I've seen a video on the New Year's Eve and stuff that you guys were walking together, you, Modine,
Yeah. This is
the Egyptian guy.
Yeah.
And the day before that, you guys had a fight or something.
Raj is running. Raj is running. Look at the pigeon flying. Look at the pigeon flying.
Flying to the fence.
Look at the pigeon flying. Kentucky Fried Pigeon. Respect Rebellion. I'm gonna go catch him now. We're gonna go live and go roast pigeon. We're gonna go roast the running pigeon. Yeah? Running pigeon, fam.
What's right?
Yeah? Them man, they're KFP, Kentucky Fried Pigeon, pigeon, all sorts of pigeons. Try and suffer man with them.
Maybe it's better for him to stay at home then.
You lot blessed, you saw the minute.
Try and suffer man with the depressing topic. Get me? Yeah. I know your tactics. Yeah, man, try and suffer man with them serious topics. You can't soften me, blood. Yeah, with your far right hand.
I need to on the camera. I don't want to get roasted.
Content over everything from your melody. Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. Listen. Yo, we live as well, G. Fire lions. Where the fire lions at? Where the fire lions at? You say, where the fire lions?